What's going on, everybody? Welcome to our Friday edition of the Daily Grind. This is a pre-recorded episode because, unfortunately, at this time right now, as we're watching this, my ass is sitting in front of a loading dock waiting for all of it to park all of his stuff at the WinStar World Casino to do a concert that night. So, yeah, I get to live that kind of high life now, don't I?
Woo, good times.
All right. But it's Friday fun for everybody, and
Friday Thunder.
for those who liked our last Friday Fun Day, we have some other stories to tell and some pictures to share.
Yep.
And of course, I'm here with my lovely assistant, my lovely partner. Everybody loves her, including Wiley. She is Presley Christine. He's really quick to point out to let me know that I need to get on par with her more than anything else. So, yeah, I'm trying. Okay, it's just once again, she's a hard act to follow, sir. But
Well, this is also what I do, or am going to be doing for a living. Like law and politics go. So
right.
it's kind of my job to know this crap. Unfortunately.
And I'm a sports guy. I'm the wrestling guy. I'm the movie guy. I'm the guy that talks about other things besides politics and law. So clearly, we differ. I mean, hell, she's an Eagles fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. That's just how we roll. But we all work together because we're all that United States of America thing that we talked about earlier.
Woo!
So, exactly. Go USA. Anyway, America. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, as we get started here, we're going to start with you because ladies first. And what a better way to start than let's look at the hair.
The hair. So the preface of this story is I don't know if I've talked about it on here before, but I've talked about it on Fit Trends where the evolution of my first time getting pink hair is kind of where my personality finally started to show, because I was a really shy kid, right? Like I was I've talked about it on Fit Trends a couple times, some of the instabilities of the upbringing that I had, and was a very shy to myself introverted kid. I'm still pretty introverted, but not to the level that I used to be. So, and I had a lot of self-esteem issues. And when I got tickets, I've been a fan of Hollywood Undead since they're like MySpace days, like just posting their songs on MySpace, and they eventually got heard. Their story is actually kind of cool. But I had been a fan for years, and so I had finally bought tickets one day for a show at the House of Blues San Diego. And I had my best friend since high school, Alyssa, had just finished her hairdressing academy or whatever and gotten her license, and she got her first job out at a salon in Redlands, California. And I was like, okay, like let's do something fun. Like let's just, because she would be, she was still pretty new, so she was building like her portfolio and all that stuff, like trying to show her range of what she could do. And so I was like, just do something fun, like pick something you think would look good on me and just do it, you know. And so she was like, okay, I want to try like some vivids, some colors. So I went in. So the first picture is before I left. Then I went in, she like bleached it super Barbie blonde, and then the third picture she added like pink into it. And let me tell you, this pink changed my world. But like, it was probably the first time in a long time where I felt really, really pretty and kind of felt my personality started to shine more. It was the first time I really felt like myself and felt, I don't really know how to describe it. It was like I came out of my shell, I guess. And it was the start of my poor hair going through a lot of change, because since this picture, I've had probably every color imaginable. I think the only color that I haven't had is green. I've had orange, I've had pink, purple, blue.
Soon.
Right. If I wasn't in the running for a professional job where I have to look professional and nice, then yeah, I would probably still have it. Which is one of the funny things, because you always hear from like the conservatives, like, oh, the the blue hair is usually a teller, and I've always kind of been the outlier. Like I've been the girl with the hair, and I got the tattoos, and I got everything else. Like according to like the far right, I should be a liberal, but I'm not.
Right.
um. So then the next one is just a better picture of the hair, like you can see the kind of the blonde with the pink. The pink was kind of underneath, with little pieces that kind of came out when you curled it. But we tried to make it like subtle because I think she was afraid to like freak me out with it being too extreme at first. As as this progressed, I you'll see in future Fun Fridays, like the pink got a lot more vibrant and all over my head.
Wow.
So we bought these tickets and I started working out every day because I had a crush on one of the guys. And you know how that is when you're 20 and you're, you know,
I would understand the crush on the guy, but go ahead.
well, celebrities.
Oh,
So
okay.
you find out you might meet one of your like celebrity crushes. You're like, oh my god, I gotta look good. So I was like working out all the time right before this and like trying to like look really good and tone up. And I was already pretty skinny then, but I think I still lost like an additional like 8 pounds and kind of toned up a little bit. I was working out every morning. I was only drinking like water and tea. I completely quit drinking soda. It was, I went ham because I was like, oh, I gotta look good.
Right.
um, the motivation you have when you're 20 and you're gonna meet a dude is something else, man. But so we bought the tickets, and I was like, okay, like I didn't have a car at the time. I was still like living at my grandma's house, just kind of like I was only 20, so it's like you're still a little bit fresh out of high school, still figuring things out, working jobs, trying to like, still finding yourself. Shit, I'm 30, I'm still finding myself. But so
Right.
you bought the tickets. I was like, okay, like I'll pay for the hotel, I'll pay for the tickets, you drive, and you pay like for the gas and for the car. Like, and so Alyssa drove. I took, she did my hair, and so I took her with me. And I got the VIP tickets so that we could meet him. That's why I was like all crazy about looking good. And so we'd make the drive out from, we lived in the Inland Empire. The drive to San Diego was about a 3 hour drive, give or take. 3 to 4 hour drive. It's kind of like driving from like here to Houston. Um, and so we get there, and I didn't know much about, like I had been to the San Diego Zoo and stuff as a kid, but I didn't know much about like the outlier cities of San Diego. Similar
Right.
similar to like Houston, where there's Houston, but then there's the Woodlands and there's Katy and there's like the little sub areas. So
Uh-huh.
the hotel we had got, I got it because it was right next to the Metro Link. So for some reason, like traffic was bad, or our plan was to go check out the venue the day before to see how parking was. And if parking was bad, then we could always take like the train over there and take the train back. And our hotel was like 2 blocks from the train station, so we could just walk to the train or whatever. This is 2013, so it was still semi-safe to walk down the street.
Right.
It turns out it wasn't so much. We ended up getting really creeped out on the walk home, but I'll get there. So it was in Lemon Grove was the name of the little town, and it was a little more ghetto than the pictures made it seem. But I was like,
Mhm.
all right, whatever. Like I got a good deal on the hotel, whatever. So we get to the hotel, and right before we had left, we went to Walmart, and we were both only 20. So I gave cash to one of the girls because I worked at the Walmart, and I gave cash to one of the girls I worked with. And I don't recommend this. This is against the rules. I could have lost my job, but I gave money to one of the other girls I worked with to buy like beer and stuff for us. And you should have that picture of all of our food and drinks.
Do I?
Did I
See,
send that one to you?
I have this one.
Oh, did I not send that one to you?
I got a bunch of pictures here. I'm gonna still up there, so I don't think I saw anything with food and drinks. No, I don't have any food and drinks.
Oh, did I forget that one?
Yeah.
Hold on. I gotta. Oh, okay. So, well, that's sad. So, we had It was absolutely ridiculous. We had like some the limeritas. We had a 12-pack of Dos Equis. We had a like I think it was a 12-pack of the different types of My Card lemonades or something. We had an entire thing of Smirnoff and like some cranberry juice. We had like 4 things of different chips. We had candy. We had and now mind you, me and her are staying for 2 days in this hotel. and, and it's just me and her, and we had so much stuff. I don't think we got through half of it.
Hmm.
Oh no, we were planning to rage. Apparently, when I look back at that picture, I'm like, why did we buy so much?
You don't want that picture?
Well, it's so behind me. I took a picture of it too, but I forgot to send it to you. Behind me is all the food and drinks, and there's
Okay.
a ton. I do love that. That's another good picture of the hair, though, because you can kind of see how when you curl the hair, you can see the bits of pink.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite pictures of myself because I just think I look cute. We were about to go to the beach. um, but so anyway, so we get there and I buy all this food and it's just like ridiculous how much we bought for 2 days. Looking back now, but maybe that's the mom in me. Um, and so the day before we go to the beach, we check out the venue so that so we kind of know where it's at and how to get there. And then thank God I planned in ahead having, the Metrolink right there because her car started making noises on the way back from the beach. And so we're like, oh man, like there's issues with the car. Like, what are we gonna do? So we're like, okay, we'll figure out how we're getting home later. Let's just like focus on getting to the damn show. So we go to the show. It was at the House of Blues San Diego, really pretty venue. Um, we took the Metrolink down there, and that was actually pretty cool. Like it was pretty easy. It took us like 20 minutes to get down there on the metro. Um, the show was awesome. It had Hollywood Undead, Escape the Fate, All Hail the Yeti, and
Rancid.
Three Pill Morning.
Uh,
And I bought the VIP tickets, like I said before, and so we got to meet Hollywood Undead and hang out with them. And let me just say, like, they talk about all this different stuff on their music and whatnot, but they were the nicest guys. Funny Man is the one who has his arm over me. That's the one that I had. His name's Dylan, but his nickname is Funny Man. Yeah. So when we did put that picture back, when we first did the meet and greet, and they come out and like they sign your stuff for you, and it was supposed to just be one group shot, but I was like, Dylan, like, can I get a picture with you, please? And his manager was like, no, it's only supposed to be group shots, and he just kind of like waved his manager off, and he was like, dude, shut up, and he put his arm over me, and he's like, we got a picture take real quick, and he took that picture with me, and it's one of my favorite pictures because I look really cute, and then he looks nice too, and so like we took that picture and then we walk over and we take the group shot, which is that one from before, and they took a couple of those. And then we got to sit there and kind of chat with them for a little bit, talk with them. It was like us and like maybe 10 other people that also bought the VIP tickets. And then they let you out to go take your spots by the stage before they let the general public in. So you get to get, if you want to stand right in front of the stage or whatever, you get to go stand there before everyone else pops in. So we stood up there. We watched the whole show from the front row, and it was awesome. It was a great show. After the show, they had all of the side bands, or like the opening bands, had little booths where they were also signing and taking pictures and selling merchandise and stuff. So these were the guys from All Hail the Yeti. Funny enough, the guy that I'm standing next to all the way to the left, Connor Cade, does tattoos, and I still talk to him and am friends with him to this day. He is one of the coolest guys. You remember the story I told you? I think it was last week's Fun Friday, where the guys that I took the pictures with, and the drummer had fallen on top of me.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
It's these same guys. This is when I first met them.
Hmm.
And so Connor's the one that stopped singing when he saw me fall, and then once he realized I was all right, he kept going. But I still talk to him to this day. He's a super cool dude and a very badass tattoo artist. If anyone needs one, his Instagram Instagram handle is Connor Cade. Um, but super super nice guys. They sing very screamo type music. It's very hard rock, but they're super super cool dudes. The next picture was the TJ. I believe he's the bassist from Escape the Fate. Um, he was the only because Escape the Fate was a little more popular of a band, obviously. So they didn't have a booth out, but we just happened to run into him when he was walking out to like grab a drink from the bar, and
Huh.
so we got pictures with him real quick while he was walking around.
Cool.
But you can see how nice my pink looks there too. But see, my curls aren't nearly as nice by the end of that night because I've been jumping up and down and
You've been
screaming
partying.
and
Yeah.
partying. Yeah. And then it was Ryan on the left and Trent on the right. I still talk to Trent and I don't have the pictures up, but I still talk to Jeff on occasion as well, the lead singer of Three Pill Morning. Neither of these two are actually still with the band. The only original members of the band that were there when I was there were there's two Ryans. The other Ryan's still there, Ryan Lee, and Jeff is still the singer, but the guitarist and the drummer that I'm with in these pictures are both no longer with the band, funny enough. But I do still talk to Trent. Trent actually drums for Vanilla Ice now when he's on tour.
Huh.
But
Well,
also,
that guy's had a resurgence, by the way.
yeah,
So
it was, but they were also really, really super cool guys. You know what was crazy about the show was like no one that I met was like a douche. Like everyone was really cool and welcoming and open to talk with you. Like no one was like above talking to you or they were too good or too famous or whatever to like answer your questions or take a picture with you or sign something or whatever. Like none of them, they were more than willing to talk or sign whatever you threw at them. So that was nice.
that's cool.
What do we got next?
The last one here.
So this was just a combination of everything I had. So the top left is the VIP pass. Then underneath it is the guy from Three Pill Morning actually handed me their set list, like the paper that they tape to the bottom of the stage. So in case they forget what song's next, they know.
Okay.
So he handed that to me and then I got them all to sign it at the end. Underneath that is the guys from All Hail the Yeti, all their signatures. I think I got everyone but Nick's signature, and Nick I still talk to today too. Not as often as Connor, but I still, we still follow each other on Instagram, I believe. And then obviously the big one to the right is all 6 signatures from Hollywood Undead. Maddie, the guy who was his nickname was DeCurls, he's no longer with the band. They went their separate ways. He was he was the more outspoken conservative of the group, funny enough. And obviously these guys are all from Hollywood, California. So I don't know what their views are now. I think they've all had kids and families since then. So I think their views have kind of changed versus what they were back in the day. But at the time, Matt was the more outspoken one of the group. And so they politely he left. But he didn't do much in the group anyway. He was he did the electric drums. So but he was a super nice, cool guy. They were all, like I said, super nice, and that was one of the best trips I've ever taken. But so the funniest part of this whole story is actually the end. I got a bite right here. So we go to take the train home. Now, Neither of us had been paying attention. Now it's the end of the night. It's like midnight. They had asked us, there was an after party, and we got invited to the after party, but they ID you for the after party. You have to be 21. Um, like the bartenders, like after a certain time period, the only people allowed in the building have to be 21 plus. It's kind of like at the V where after like 9 o'clock, no one under 18 can be there.
Right.
Um, so we got invited by a few of the guys and we had to lie. Well, it was like a half lie. We were like, oh, we took the metro here. The last metro leaves soon. So we got to go. Like, sorry. But it was also secretly we weren't old enough to stay, but we didn't want to say that. Um, so we walk back to the metro station. We're tired. We've been partying all day, We weren't really paying attention or didn't really understand the direction, like which train goes which way,
Mm-hmm.
because we weren't super familiar with the area, so we didn't know if Lemon Grove was north, south, east, west, whatever. Like, and so we took the right train, but we took it the wrong direction. So
Okay.
we're sitting there for about, I would say about 25 minutes, and like, we're looking up at the, I don't know if you've ever ridden the train, but they'll have the little maps up there, like with all the
Yeah.
stops. And we're looking and we're like, I feel like we've been on the train too long. Like we've been here for a minute. Shouldn't we have gotten off by now? And we're talking. And thankfully, someone sitting across from us like overheard our conversation. They were like, "Are you guys going to Lemon Grove?" And we're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "You're on the right train, but you're going the wrong way. You need to get off and go get the train that's going that way. You guys are heading towards Tijuana right now."
Well, down.
We were like, "Oh, oh.
Well, we don't want to go there.
Um, so we got off and it was already like after midnight and we legitimately caught the last train that was going the other direction, or we would have been stranded wherever we were close to the damn Mexican border. um,
Right. With no one in sight.
so then we finally get home, or we get off the train and it's like almost 1 a.m. So then we're walking. It was, like I said, it's about 2.5 blocks back to the hotel, which during the daylight is like no big deal. But at 1 a.m. in semi ghetto, we were like, and sure enough, about halfway through the walk, these guys across the street start like catcalling us, like, "Hey, baby, woo, where you guys been tonight?" And they're like, kind of walking our way, and then they started to act like they were going to cross the street. And Alyssa, and I just looked at each other, and it was like telepathy. We just booked it, and we literally ran like a mile just to the hotel, and we got like quickly put the key card in, like shut the door, locked in. We're both like, and in
Wow.
retrospect, they probably weren't going to do anything. They were just being creepy guys. But like, we're young. We had never really been out by ourselves like that before. So we were just like, and we like ran.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
But yeah, we accidentally, at the end of that whole night, accidentally took a trip into Mexico. So that would have been a whole different trip.
Yeah.
And then we
That'd be
had to get,
weird.
so her car ended up being like something had gone wrong with it, something had busted. So thank God her boyfriend at the time had like whatever the most expensive like AAA membership is. And it was like a 90-mile tow. Like they had to,
Damn.
we had to sit in a tow truck for the entire drive back from San Diego to the Inland Empire. And it was like 4 hours in a tow truck. And we're just kind of like, this guy's like trying to awkwardly chat with us. And we're just like, and then they couldn't drop me off at home and drop her. So we had to take it all the way to the mechanic shop. And then I had to find someone to pick me up. I had to call a friend to pick me up from the mechanic shop to give me a ride back home to my house. It was a
Cool.
mess. It was, like what I've realized. I'll tell next week. I'll tell the story about my 21st birthday because that was another just clusterfuck. But what I've realized about these things is like these trips where it's like everything stuff starts to go wrong, and with these trips nothing ever goes exactly as planned. Like something always comes up, and you kind of just got to plan for that. But those moments are always the moments that I end up remembering the most about the trip, or the moments that make it funny, or the moments that make it memorable. Like, yeah, of course the show itself was a lot of fun. Going to the beach was cool. I look back at the pictures now, like I didn't post any of the pictures from the beach because I was like so insecure. And I look back at the pictures and I'm like, I was so skinny. What the hell was wrong with the female brain drives me nuts. But those are the moments that I remember the most though, or like that are the most vivid are being on that stupid Metro link going the wrong way, like freaking out thinking there was no more trains going our direction and we were going to have to try and pay for a hotel out in the middle of wherever we were, and the awkward tow truck home, and it was just like it was a mess, but it was so much fun and I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, my story is about a Thanksgiving. Every Thanksgiving, my wife and kids, we'd go to my in-laws' house. My mother-in-law would cook the big Thanksgiving dinner. We'd help out, and we'd sit and watch the football game and eat and everything else, and play card games, and that'd be pretty much our Thanksgiving. Well, I had just gotten done driving a truck for a long time. I drove for 3 years, and I've been on all across the United States. Never really got to stop and actually enjoy the place I went to because you're in a big rig and you can't really just park and go anywhere. So I was like, I know it's Thanksgiving. I'm gonna have a little time off. Let's not do the traditional thing. Let's go somewhere. And my wife at the time, she was like, "That sounds kind of cool. Where do you want to go?" And I was thinking, I'll go to St. Louis. She's like, "Why St. Louis?" It's like, well,
Barbecue.
I passed by this. I passed. Well, there's one reason, but which that's a whole. It's gonna be a whole other trip here pretty soon. But I'd always driven by the St. Louis Arch. I never got the chance to go up in it, and I was like, it's a bucket list thing. I would like to say that I've been inside the arch because, like, my first ever seeing the St. Louis Arch was watching the movie National Lampoon's Vacation, when the Griswolds are heading to Wally World and they pass by the arch, and Clark says, "Yeah, it's so many feet up high, and this and that, and it says separates the Mississippi River, and this and that, like whatever." So he does his whole story to Rusty, and Rusty's like, "Want to go up it? You want to go up in it?" He's like, "No." So I'm like, I would love to go up in there. So we all agree we're gonna do something different for Thanksgiving. So we make the trek up there towards St. Louis. So on the way up there, we pass by this thing, this big ass rocking chair.
World's largest rocking chair.
Yeah, right there off Route 66. To go up there, we have to go up the way I used to go coming out of Springfield, Missouri. So we're going to be stopping in Branson, Missouri when this for our first stop. So one of the scariest things in the world is driving a car up the Ozark Mountains and it's dark. There is no lights on the damn mountain at all. So you're going around in a circle, pretty much. And I didn't realize this was going to be an issue until the next year we went to California, where when we go up a mountain, my wife cannot handle that kind of stuff. I mean, she can handle, going on roller coasters. She can handle, big, slides at Wet and Wild or whatever. That's even a thing in Hurricane Harbor. But going up a mountain or coming down a mountain, she can't handle. So, So anyway, we get to Branson, and we see a Krispy Kreme Donuts. Now, they had closed all the Krispy Kreme Donuts in our neck of the woods a while back, so we didn't have anything like that near us. I know, right? So we go over there. We're reading like donut places that are open at night. That's a rarity, right? So this place is open at night. I'm looking across the street and I see this thing. For those who know who I am, know that the only thing I'm going to say is, wow, that's a really big cock. But that was a chicken place
That
right
was
next
my
door
first
to
thought.
that. Right. So clearly, as a picture that we took, we can take a lot of pictures in this trip, but once again, the ones that we did, we tried to make it as much fun as we possibly could. Here's a picture of my daughter Cadence in front of a picture of a car, which is weird because she now drives a Lexus from her grandfather that he gave her. So, and she has Grover and Frida with her. Frida is a little bear doll looking thing right there, and of course Grover sitting there just wondering why does he have apparently as Grover got older with Cadence, his mouth became more what do you call it, like he has stroke mouth,
Mm.
or kind of like Jim Ross, the kind of I guess eventually. But yeah, she take those two everywhere she went. Here is a picture of the family, or Cooper, Cadence, and Dakota, right in front of I guess it's the state capital, I guess, of Missouri. This is when we finally got to St. Louis, and of course, there it is, the
The
arch.
arch.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Now, if you get claustrophobic, it is scary. Not only get claustrophobic, but you go up in this little pod, you fit all of us in there, and you scoot your way all the way up to the top until you get to the point where you can walk up there, and then you can take pictures of what's below you. Clearly, and my first picture was a picture of Busch Stadium out here, where I looked at my kids and I go, guys, this is where Nelson Cruz lost the World Series for the Rangers, because the Rangers have just lost the World Series to St. Louis a couple years ago.
Mm.
And the guy behind me says, "You got to bring that up, don't you?" I'm like, "I don't want to. I don't really want to, but yeah, that's where it was." And I actually had a chance to go to an actual All-Star game here one time when I was in St. I was parked at a truck stop in St. Louis during the All-Star game, and that was being played there. And someone had tickets at the truck stop if I wanted to go, and I was like, "Nah, I'm gonna pass," because I know how much tickets were going to be, and I don't care about All-Star baseball, so I just decided not to. But kind of regret, and I kind of wish I had gone and see it, because I like the idea of going to see away stadiums, because I know what I have in Arlington and wherever else, but I don't know what it's like in other places. So
Yeah.
kind of a bucket list thing I have as a Ranger fan is to go see Ranger road games for 1 year in different stadiums. So say I can say I've been in Yankee Stadium, Fenway Park, wherever else.
Oh yeah.
Be kind of a cool moment. Let's see here. We got this right here. Another downtown picture from the arch. See how high up we are too. I mean, it's it's nowhere near what like Reading Towers like out there in downtown Dallas, but it's a lot. It reminds me of it a little bit, except you have the entire city to walk around pretty much when you're on the ball area. So here's another one here of the state capitol again. Another picture of that we took. So while we're sitting out there, we are a few miles away from Illinois. Now, of course, the kids are trying to knock off states off their bucket list. I, of course, have been to Illinois several times, so that wasn't an issue for me. But obviously, I'm thinking about the kids and Melissa at the time. They've never been to Illinois, so we hop over to Illinois, and the first city that's there is called Alton, Illinois.
Hmm.
For those who know who I am, my real first name is not Trey. That is my nickname. I am Alton William McLean III. My unfortunate parents gave me the unfortunate name of Alton, and because I carry on the Alton Senior, Alton Junior, Alton the Third, and none of us ever went by the name Alton. None of us. But here I am in Alton, Illinois, and the first sign I see, wife sits there and she tells me, "Get out of the car. We got to take a picture of this." Yes, come keep Alton clean. So that was you see signs of Alton everywhere, by the way. Another one here, Alton, Illinois, me in front of my own name. God forbid. And the more I'm looking at that picture, I know I'm such a fat ass, but I'm looking at that jacket. I remember how much I missed that jacket there because that was such a warm jacket, especially now because it's cold as hell right now. And the last picture I have on here, I don't have a lot of pictures from this trip except just some stories. Now we went into some sort of library or whatnot or gift store and we came across this book right here.
Who
Who
pooped in the park?
And clearly people think of me. So that was we went out there, we had a great time. And actually I could go and tell this story because to kind of tie along with it. They have a children's museum inside St. Louis that is awesome. Lots of cool things for kids to do. They got these dinosaur relics that the kids can be a part of. They have this big ass bounce house that goes to a big slide or whatever. It's huge. I feel like Trump. It's huge.
It's the biggest.
It's the biggest. It's just the best. But I mean, we spent like 4 or 5 hours there. I mean, the kids had a blast. Cooper had a blast, and Cooper at the time he was still in the. We're not sure. He couldn't really talk very well back then, so we weren't sure how far along in the autism spectrum he was. But he lit up big time in this. And him and Dakota were riding slides together, and it's really the only bonding moment I think those two have really ever had with each other. And it was such a cool experience. And of course, we went to Hibachi restaurant later on that night because, of course, we're going to do that. But and I have a rule, and I'm sure many people have the same rule. Whenever you go out of town, never eat at chain restaurants that you can eat in your own hometown. You see an Applebee's in St. Louis, you have an Applebee's in your neck of the woods. Don't go there. Go, get a taste of the city, get a taste of the flavor that's there, right? Now, Krispy Kreme donuts is a whole different story because they closed all the Krispy Kremes in Dallas, and so clearly we're going to go there. But that's always been a rule that I've lived by when it came to that. So, with the exception of going to Cracker Barrel for our actual Thanksgiving dinner on our way up there, we actually stopped in different restaurants and had just great meals. My wife is not a big barbecue fan, as is, so I eventually went back up there with my daughter Dakota when we did we did a 4-day trip where we had to drive from Aubrey to Grand Rapids, Michigan, to go see my daughter swim for nationals, and then drive all the way back home 2 days later. So it was like an up and down type trip. And so we went through St. Louis and got some barbecue. Me and her did, and it was good. It was good. It was different. Every city's got a different barbecue taste. In fact, I have a barbecue trip I'm still planning to do where I go up from Ardmore to Kansas City, then over to St. Louis and down to Memphis and back home, all in 2 days. And my buddy Billy Hills, who's a part of Offshoots TV, we're gonna meet up with him because he lives up there in Missouri. So we're still planning that one way or the other. But anyway, this takes us to the next year. I don't have any pictures for this one, just a story. So the next year, we're getting close to Thanksgiving. Wife's like, what are we going to do for Thanksgiving this year? We're going to go to my parents, or we're going to do another trip? It's like, I had a lot of fun with the last trip. Let's do another trip. It's like, where do you want to go? Let's go to Denver. Because as a truck driver, I never went to Denver. One of the cities I missed out. I went to Aurora, Colorado, but never went to Denver. So, okay, cool. So we're planning Denver as our trip months in advance. And we're about a week away from getting ready to head out there. Then my wife comes to me and goes, we got a problem, Trey. It's like, what's that? We don't have clothes for Denver because we live in Texas. We don't ski. We don't have heavy clothing type stuff for bad weather like that. Even when we have bad weather here, it's like it's only for a couple days. They live that way, so they're used to it. And it's like we have to go and invest in a whole bunch of clothes we're going to wear one time or whatnot. And I'm like, what's the weather going to be like? It's like 17. Okay.
That's my kind of weather.
All right. Well, so what's the weather like in San Francisco? Again, another city I've never been to. It's like 77. We're going to San Francisco. But we're not going to tell the kids. So on this trip, we were going to go to Four Corners, the Four Corners area where all 4 states meet. Mm-hmm. We were going to do it anyway. So the kids knew that ahead of time. So we take us about a day or so to get out there. We do the Four Corners thing, and I know I got pictures somewhere. I got to find those. I think my wife might have them on her deal. So so we get ready to leave. All we have to do is make a left, and we're in Colorado. Instead, I make a right, and we're driving. 30 minutes, 45 minutes go by, and Dakota's in the back seat. She's the older one. She's like, "Guys, why are we still in Arizona?" So then that's when we say, because we weren't going to tell them at all until we got closer or whatever. Like, oh, we're not going to go to Denver. What? Yeah, we're going to go to San Francisco instead. What? And then like her and Cadence just like blew up completely. Like, we're going where? And I'm like, well, we don't have closer than ever. So, but we got clothes for San Francisco. No problem there. By the way, adding one extra day to a car trip with your wife and 3 kids will drive anybody batshit crazy, and it drove me crazy. Because you're not, confined there. Like, I used to take road trips with my parents all the time from here to Myrtle Beach, right? That's 2 days, but you're there the second day and you can unwind and everything else. We're talking 3 full days in a car.
Mm-hmm.
In a very small car. And it was a lot. It was a lot to deal with. But then again, we took it on for what it was going to be. We get out to San Francisco, and we see when we get out there at night. If you've never driven to San Francisco, do not go there at night if you've never been, because you will get lost. You will think you're not thinking you're driving on the right side of the road. There's all sorts of crazy stuff that will take place that will throw you for a loop unless you don't see it during the daytime. So having not known that, I'm driving to San Francisco right across the Golden Gate Bridge at night, going into the city, not knowing which lane I'm supposed to be in, because there's bike lanes, there's train lanes, there's whatever, and we're just so lost. I'm so frustrated and everything, because once again, this sounds like the worst idea ever. But we finally get there, and we get to our hotel, and pretty much at this point, while we're out there, all we have is chain restaurants to eat at, which you would not think that'd be the case, but that's really all that was really open. So we broke our rule with that. We got to see the beach. We went to one. I can't remember the name of the beach that we went to, but we had to go up a mountain to get to the beach, which made my wife get really nauseous because she does not handle going around in circles very well. Again, don't understand it. She's a roller coaster person. How can she not handle this? I don't do roller coasters, but she can. So we get there. We see a beach. It's 70 something degrees. Cooper's enjoying it. The girls are enjoying it. This is like, hey, Thanksgiving and we're at the beach. Why not, right? You're from California. You know what that's like. So, we have a lot of fun there for what that was. So we go to a mall up in Northern California, just north of San Francisco. Again, breaking the chain restaurant rule, we eat at California Pizza Kitchen because it's in California, so why not, right? So, but it's actually where we're now. I'll show the picture down the road, but there's the first picture we ever took of Cooper sitting with Santa, and he actually smiled. And remember, and he didn't cry, and it wasn't like an actual. We just want to see if he would sit on Santa's lap, and he did it, no problem. And I got the picture somewhere, and then of course we do that. By the way, on the way out there, and I'm sure you know this as well. Out in Bakersfield, it's amazing. Once you get into California, they stop you. If those who've never been driven into California, they stop you, and they ask you the all-important question: are you carrying any fruits or vegetables in your vehicle?
It's the weirdest thing.
And I look at my wife. I'm going, no. Might have a trunk full of weed in the back, but I'm just saying. I mean, but no, I didn't say that. But I'm like, no, we're good. So we go in there, and because that's the state that they grow their own stuff. And you go into Bakersfield, California, you see the fruit farms. They're all over the place. And you stop at one of those fruit farms, those fruit stands, and load up because they are so good.
Excuse me.
Yeah, that's all right. I know my stories are boring. But
no, I haven't slept well all week.
I know you told me about that. So we really enjoyed Bakersfield. Which of all places to really enjoy was Bakersfield. But all those fruit farms that are out there are so nice to go through. Once again, if you've never been, it's worth the shot. It's worth going. So, because I've never seen what an orange tree looks like, and I'm seeing trees that got oranges on them. I'm like, okay,
Oh yeah.
I've never seen this. So we're coming home. We're gonna go by the Green. We're gonna go to the Grand Canyon. That was already part of the plan. So we're driving down into. We're gonna avoid Nevada. And here's my wife. We're not that far from Nevada. I mean, how much farther is Las Vegas from here? Just so that we said we've seen Las Vegas. I'm like, it's like 6 hours out the way. It's like, it'd be cool if we could go see it. It'd be nighttime, so the best time to see Vegas is at night. It's like, yeah. So we detour, go up, and we get to that last gas station before you get into Nevada, which gas is like $5 a gallon at that point. And of course, my wife is this person. People do this. I don't do this. I'm a trucker, so I don't have to do this. Once you stop at a sign, when you enter a different state, they say, "Welcome to so and so state."
Yeah.
And my wife is that person that says, "Pull off the side of the road so we can get out and take a picture in front of the state sign." Every single time. So it is nighttime. You cannot see a Nevada sign anywhere.
You can't
And
see
she's having,
Jack.
yeah,
Half of that ride is desert.
right. And she's having me drive all over to find a Nevada sign. I'm like, I'm really tired. I don't want to deal with this crap right now. So I don't think we got one, but the kids see Vegas, they see the lights and all that great stuff. We drive over Lake Mead that night to get to our whatever destination we're going to get to, and the next day we do the Grand Canyon, and of course anybody who's ever seen National Lampoon's Vacation, every guy who does this does the same thing. Okay, let's go every time. So, but it's a lot of fun. The drive out there is a lot farther than you think it is. Because it's not just, hey, the canyon's right here to the left and you're there. You got to go through this little town. You got to go. There are deer who look at you and go, enjoy. I mean, that deer actually sit there and go, I know there's cars here. We'll wait. We won't jump in front of you. It's fine. So, we get all the way out there, do the Grand Canyon, and I'm like, okay, now it's time to go home. And I am so ready to go home by this point.
Yeah.
I'm 5 days in the car with these kids and the wife. At one point, I pulled the car off the side of the road and got out and started screaming. It was so bad because it was all about trying to find a gas station near LA and not knowing where to go and trying to find the cheapest gas. And I'm like, I don't have time for this. Traffic is all over the place. I can't just move. I can't just pick the car. It's not Back to the Future. You can't just pick the car up and just fly to my next destination. It doesn't work that way. It was a new car, and I don't think it came with that. But anyway, it was not. It was a fun trip, but it gets less fun the more tasks that are thrown at you. It's not just like you said. Not every trip ever goes the way you want to go to. There's always something extra. That extra can make it or break it for you. But we finally get home, and that was the last time we took any Thanksgiving trips ever, because now that you've gone to the farther ends of the earth to see San Francisco, you're like, okay, I'll just go back up to Oklahoma and go see my in-laws. It's a lot better than that. So, but those are my Thanksgiving trips, and we'll see. I don't have any pictures for those, but or if I do, they're somewhere. I'd let them kind of behind. But once again, I recommend St. Louis. Go see the Arch. Go see the Ghost. It's funny. We get out to San Francisco. We're like, hey, I want to go do Alcatraz, but you got to book that in advance. And I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
I had no idea. I've always wanted to go see Alcatraz, so I got to see Alcatraz from the Golden Gate Bridge, but I couldn't go in there, which I wanted to do. But it was still. I mean, for what it is, it's a lot of fun. My daughter Dakota and her boyfriend just flew out to San Francisco about a year or so ago, and I even asked him. I said, "Y'all go to Alcatraz?" And the boyfriend's like, "No, what's that? You don't know what Alcatraz is?" I'm like, have you? It's like
San
because
Francisco's not what it was anymore, though. Like in the last, especially the last 5 or 6 years, I would say it's turned to a complete crap hole. I mean,
I wouldn't doubt it. But
they don't take care of the city at all.
well, it's funny because I look at him. I'm looking at my daughter saying, "You haven't shown him The Rock yet." I mean, the Nicolas Cage movie, The Rock. I know you wouldn't have seen Escape from Alcatraz, but I mean, I'm just saying, dude, that's one of the reasons to go.
Well,
You
and
know?
just some of the famous people that were at that prison.
Yeah. So anyway, but that's my stories of Thanksgivings and how we've gone to the extreme on those, and now we're not doing that anymore. But you know,
I know that's probably how I should feel about birthday trips, but I still take them because it seems like each one ends up being
like
quite
a
a
cluster.
mess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still do it.
Well, for those who are enjoying this show and want to see more of us, make sure you guys follow us on Facebook at The Daily Grind. Also, go over to YouTube, subscribe to us. We need you, people. We need you a lot. Subscribe to us. Best
Help
way
us
to
beat the
find us.
algorithm.
Right. Man, best way to find us, Daily Grind Trey. You'll see our picture. Click it, like it, subscribe, comment. Do what you got to do to make us famous. We'd appreciate that, especially Presley because she's already got a fan club. You know, I think Wally's the president of it. And of course, follow us on Instagram at, are you ready, folks? They underscore daily underscore grind. Period. Underscore. You do all that, then you know you can be a part of our big and exciting fun we're gonna have here. And we're 10 shows into this, folks. We're 10 shows in.
Oh.
And the fact that we've gone this far took us 2 weeks. But you know,
Yes.
and with a few hiccups, but hey, it happens. But you know, we're having a lot of fun doing this, folks. We hope you guys enjoy it. Also, check out all of our other stuff that we do because we do a lot more than just this. We have no life. We do podcasting and jobs. This is what we do, folks. And part of that is with my good friend Presley Christine. Go check her out on The Middle Ground with Presley Christine every Tuesday on YouTube and on Spotify. And of course, check her out on Fit Trends as well with her and Karen Ashley. As I've been a part of that show once or twice before, and it's a lot of fun. Also, now that I don't have to plug the tailgate talk anymore, I'll plug my buddy Sonny Clark. And don't let the picture fool you. By the way, you see that beard he's got there?
That's the Hulk Hogan one that you're gonna do, right?
Yes, he has lost a bet to me. I am the Pick'em champion this past year, so he is going to be dyeing the outside of his beard and the middle part of his beard black, while the rest of the rest of the white's going to be the Fu Manchu part. It's going to be the blonded or whited out. This one, in his case, so he'll have that for a month. So look forward to that. It's the Couch Potato Sports Show every Sunday. I'm a part of that show as well. Kind of a co-host and kind of as he calls me, a misfit, but it is what it is. I'm the reason people watch that show. They all know it. And also, go check out Offshoots TV. Airs every Thursday night, roughly, 9 p.m. on Facebook Live. Also, check out the Offshoots Network on YouTube to see our individual clips of that show and help us grow that thing as well. Whew.
That's a lot. We do a lot.
We
never a dull day.
Never a dull moment. I mean, you know, we're always thinking. We're always coming up with ideas for shows and everything else. And I still want to do a movie show. I still want to do, you know, a show where I talk about dead people. I mean, there's things that I do that just, I know it's kind of more what I just said the way I did, but that's what I do. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, I want to take 3 dead celebrities, right? When you're a celebrity, there's no heaven, there's no hell. There's a 3-bedroom apartment waiting for you. And when you die, it's you and 2 other people who have passed away around the same time you have to share this room for eternity. And it could be a lot of fun. It could be a lot of fun to see who you get to bunk in with. Whoever got Charles Manson's probably not happy with that, but don't worry about that. I know Bobby Knight, Matthew Perry, and whoever else passed away at the same time are probably screaming at each other right now. So it's a lot of fun, and I do want to do a show with that eventually. I'm not sure how, I'm not sure where, not sure when, but we'll get there eventually. Because once again, podcasts are free to make. And so you got to
And
pay
it's
for
free
it.
to like it and comment and subscribe and all that jazz.
Yeah, and help us out, folks, because we do appreciate every bit of support y'all have. Especially you, Wiley, because I know you are a sucker for the Presley Christine fan club. And of course, you hate everything I have to say about it. I know she's going to hate me for saying all this stuff. But anyway, that being said, as my buddy Sonny Clark would say every show, that's going to do it for us on this Friday edition pre-recorded show. Hope y'all enjoyed that. Sorry about
We will
it
see
not
you
being a
Monday.
live show. We will see you Monday. Bye-bye.